Welcome to the In Love with PMDD Podcast. I am your host, Rose, your PMDD Relationship Expert. I have personally been suffering with PMDD for over 15 years and spent so much time desperately trying to navigate my intimate relationships, going from breakup to breakup, thinking that everyone else was the problem. I am now married to an amazing PMDD partner thanks to the PMDD specific relationship tools that I have developed over the years, and now I am here to share them with you. Because I know that there is not much research available to PMDD partners, I am now dedicating my doctorate practice specifically for PMDD relationships. I am a traumatology doctoral candidate, and each week I will be providing PMDD partners with my signature PMDD Trauma Transformational Tools on how to effectively navigate an intimate relationship while having PMDD, so that you can avoid the patterns of breaking up with your partner every single month, and you can finally have the supportive relationship that we all desire and deserve. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. Now let's get into your weekly dose of PMDD relationship tools. We got this. Today, we are going to talk about the secret to getting your PMDD partner more supportive. So I've dealt with this so much with my clients, especially recently, that I felt the need to extend some of the advice that I've been giving to my clients to you all. But I want you to understand that the things you have to do in order to get your partner to be more supportive while you're in PMDD is very minimal. I know that when you're thinking about wanting a supportive partner, you immediately think about more work. You immediately think, I can't take this on my plate. I already have so much to do and I just don't want to be bothered. I can barely manage my own symptoms. And how do you expect me to focus in and do things for my partner when I can barely do things for myself? And what I say to that is little things add up. And that's what I was telling my client today when we were customizing her things that she was going to do for her partner in order to get them to be more supportive. And I know so many times when you're in PMDD, the ego comes up and you think to yourself, why should I have to be doing extra things in order to get support from my partner? Like, shouldn't my partner just support me regardless? Why do I have to put forth any effort in order to get support from my partner? But what I want you to know is that when you enter into a relationship, you're agreeing to take care of each other. And I know that when you're not in PMDD, when stuff goes on with your partner, if they came home and told you they got fired, if they told you their feelings were hurt because of something that happened with a friend, if they told you that they were just hurting in any way, you would want to be there for them. You would reach out and be there for them, and you're expecting that same support in return. And when you have PMDD, the amount of support is magnified, but it's not a sense of whose support is more than the other. It's not like your partner has to give you more than you're giving them, so they should have the upper hand because they're pouring in more to you. It's about specifically when you're in PMDD, finding out what you can do to get their support the best. And I'm going to give you a couple of things that have worked tremendously well with me, tremendously well with my clients, and I want to share them with you today. These are very generalized other than the sessions that I've had with my clients. So if you're in a place in your intimate relationship where you're needing customized advice, where you're like, that sounds great, but that doesn't necessarily apply to my specific relationship, then you can always email me and apply to work with me on www.inlovewithpmdd.com. Or I hope you're following me on Instagram at In Love with PMDD, because I give free tips, relationship tips for PMDD on my stories every single day. So if you're not following me, you need to be following me on Instagram. Watch my stories. I give at least 1 to 2 tips a day. And so that racks up. So here we go. The first thing that you need to do in order to get your PMDD partner to be more supportive is to pour into them first. I know what you're thinking. More work, don't have the energy, don't have time for it. But For your partner, there are 3 things that have worked specifically with all of the clients that I've worked with, all the couples, including my partner. And that is attention, affection, and adoration, the 3 A's, right? So attention, pay attention when they're talking to you. So I know a lot of times when I'm in PMDD, I tend to be more avoidant. I tend to be in my own little world. I try to do a lot of self-care things, and I just kind of block myself off from a lot of aspects of the world, including my partner. And it's kind of a survival mechanism. Like I try to add in all of these things to figure out how I can be my best. I'm like going through the PMDD forums, trying to find the next supplement, the next thing that can help, looking at what can help the other what has helped the other person, and then going to try it and ordering it off Amazon or the website and just try. It's this desperation to find a cure and to find something that's going to relieve us of our symptoms that we get totally engrossed with during PMDD because you just want a way out. So I understand that. I've done it plenty of times. I believe even last month, I was like, maybe there's something I didn't try. Like, let me try something else. And what I've noticed is when I get into those moments of extremes with going into looking for something on the outside in order to make me feel better on the inside, that I tend to neglect my partner and I'm not giving them attention. I'm not listening to them intently. Like I even if I'm half listening, I'm not fully present. I'm not fully there. And being that when my PMDD partner and I are not in PMDD, I'm so connected. He can read my facial expressions and know what I'm thinking. The same with him. But it seems like when I get into PMDD, there's this blank stare. There's nothing behind it. There's no substance. There's no connection because I'm not trying for it to be there. I'm trying to move on to the next thing. So I see it as like a task. Like, okay, I'm going to listen to you, but then I'm going to go back to doing this. Like I'm going to go back online and look for the cure for PMDD. I mean, even me, I'm getting my doctorate in PMDD relationships where I'm specifically writing my dissertation on it. So I'm constantly doing research. I'm constantly in the minimal studies that are there, but I'm constantly studying on relationships. So you would think if I'm studying on relationships so much, then I would be so in tune with mine. And that is the exact opposite. I kind of avoid it. I see it as like a task. And when my partner feels me pulling away, he leans in. And so there's that push and pull. But when I'm not in PMDD, we're on the same page because we're so obsessed with each other. We're so in tune. And over time, that can get really, really frustrating. The giving attention, the not giving attention, back and forth. So I would say at a minimum, which is something that I'm practicing myself this month, is just making sure that when my partner comes to talk to me, that I'm not trying to multitask. I'm not trying to think about what I'm going to do next. And I'm just giving him my undivided attention and paying attention to him. And he's totally noticed. And this is my first day of PMDD. And oh my gosh, like he has been so attentive, asking what he can do, pouring into me, giving those words of affirmation, telling me how amazing I am, how much he loves me, how much he loves our relationship. And normally when we're in PMDD, he's pulling away, or he's like, feels like he's pulling, trying to get something out of me. But by me shifting my attention to my partner, I've been able to appreciate him just as much in PMDD as I do when I'm not. So attention is the first one, affection. So I know that we immediately think affection, we think of sex, and we think, oh my gosh, I have all these symptoms going on in my body. I don't even feel attractive. I have these intrusive thoughts where I feel like, he's looking at other people or they're wanting other people and all these things. I'm just not in that place where I'm wanting to be intimate because I barely want to be intimate with myself. So how could I want to be intimate with someone else? But what I say is, when I talk about affection, it doesn't always mean sex. Now, a lot of times I've worked with clients where I've given them these tools that are a lot lessened as far as what they need to do. And it's led to sex. And it's led to amazing, sensual, passionate sex that connects them and just solidifies why they're with them and reminds them that they're on their side. And that's because when you have these orgasms, it's the chemical oxytocin is released from your bodies. It's like connecting you all together. And when that happens, it's so magical. I know that there have been times where me and my partner have been arguing about something, I don't know, whatever. And we've had sex, like amazing connected sex, not like forced, let's hurry up and get it over with sex, because as you know, like we've all done that. Like, okay, they want to have sex, like, let me just try and do it real quick. And then you're neither one of you are fulfilled. And that's the thing that I want you partners to realize is that when you have intimacy, when you have sex with your partner and you're not fully into it, they're not satisfied. So if the goal of you having sex with them is for them to get satisfied so that you can not hear about how they're not satisfied because they're not getting enough sex, all the things, they're not satisfied unless you're satisfied, right? Your PMDD partner is not satisfied with sex unless you're satisfied. So you need to be in it. You need to be having those orgasms, feeling that sensuality, feeling that closeness, going wild over your partner touching you and just being able to just be in that moment. That's something that is not just for your partner, it's for you too. And it can relieve symptoms. I mean, it's a chemical. It's oxytocin. So I know we always are looking for supplements and things that we can find online. And a lot of the things, I'm going to do another episode on this. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it, but I'm going to do a whole nother episode on this because I just had another client call where I identified all of the chemicals that are released during sex, all of the chemicals that are released during exercise, all of the chemicals that are released doing just deep talking and just connecting that can lead to shifting your mood and getting you back to that close space. But sex is one of them. Oxytocin is a chemical that is released when you have sex, when you have an orgasm, all the yummy things. And giving this affection, it's for your partner so that you can remind them that you want to be close to them. So I know a lot of my clients are like my partner, where they want to be close to their partner and then their partner doesn't want to be close to them. So it's kind of the opposite. I always give you my perspective, but a lot of my clients are the opposite in that they're wanting that reassurance, those words of affirmation, that attention and stuff. So they get clingy and then their partner is just a little bit standoffish. And if you think about the law of attraction for a minute, whatever you pull at, pull, I'm trying to get, it like pulls back from you. Like if you're trying to force something, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And the harder you try to force it, the less that it's going to happen. So if you're wanting to be closer to your partner, the more that you're trying to be close to them, the less it's going to happen because they're going to pull back from you. And you're going to be in this push-pull thing until you both get back on the same page. And it's really painful when you're getting in that place of really, really wanting to be close to your partner. And you feel like, man, the more things I do, the more they move away from me. It's because you're forcing it. You're forcing it. What I want you to practice when it comes to the affection is the art of allowing. I want you to allow things to be as they are. When you take the pressure off, everything will fall natural. If you think about how you met, how you fell in love when you were dating, you weren't forcing it. The best times that you've had with your PMDD partner have been when you both just been having fun and just living in the moment. You can never tell me that the best times you had in your partner was when you were trying to force things to happen that weren't organically happening or that the other person didn't want. It doesn't work that way. If you're trying to force something and your partner doesn't want it, okay, go do something that you enjoy, that feels good in your body. And I guarantee you, your partner is going to be magnetized towards that. That is what my partner loves the most about me, is that I have the ability to get myself in this happy, joyful, playful place. And it's so attractive to not have to depend on him to please me, to make me feel good about myself and just live in the moment and to be happy, it's so magnetic. It's like, okay, if you want your partners to come close to you, go work on yourself. Make you be someone that they would want to be close to. If you're this person that's reaching out and grabbing and grabbing and grabbing, that's not something to be close to. It feels forced because then the expectation is like, I have to give them what they need. I have to be perfect. I have to do all these things. And that's too much pressure. It's not like, it's like a job. But when you're living in your own space and finding what makes you happy and going and doing that, when they come and find you in that place, doing that thing, that is so attractive, and they will be so attentive to you. And all it comes from is you working on yourself first. And by working, I mean doing something that you enjoy. I know for me, I love dancing, love dancing, love good music. And whenever my partner like finds me just like jamming out, dancing around, listening to good music, he wants to be in that space. He's magnetized towards my energy because I'm not telling him, you will come dance with me. You will come lay on the couch with me. You will come to bed with me. You will do this. You will kiss me. All of these things. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I'm living in this moment and I'm enjoying myself, and the invitation for you to join me is there. And when you extend an invitation, like, hey, it's open. Think about it. If someone was to invite you to a party and they call you up, if someone told you, I'm having a party on Friday, you will come. You would be like, who do you think you are? You're not telling me what I am going to do. Like, let me check my schedule. Then you'll try to find something to like make yourself not available. Right. But if someone says, hey, I'm having this party, it's going to be a lot of fun. You're open to come. If you come, if you do, you do. If you can't make it, I understand. It's all good. Like, I'm just letting you know, I thought you would enjoy it. You would be like, wow, like, I think I want to go to that party. Like, I want to experience that. Like, the option is there. It's no pressure if I don't go. And I remember something that my partner said earlier in our relationship when we first met, and we were living our own lives. And it was so amazing how we first met. We were living our best lives in Hawaii. And he's an extrovert. He has so many friends. He was always doing something. And I'm not so much of an extrovert. I like to be out and travel and do things, but I'm sometimes I like to do them alone. It's the weirdest things. I think I'm an ambivert. That's like the combination of both, because I don't want to be locked in a room by myself and not surrounded by anybody. But I do like to be out, but not feel the pressure of being connected with a certain group or a certain person, or like, like you'll never find me unless I'm with my partner, like with a group of people, just like hanging out with the same people all the time, because I feel like it's just, I don't know. I'm like, when it comes time to leave, what if I want to leave? They don't want to leave. What if they want to leave and I'm having fun? Like, I always think about these things. I'm like, oh my gosh, I like to have control over the coming and the going and all these things. And I think it's so much better if we like drive and have our own cars. Like, I used to do this when I lived in Miami, and we used to go clubbing literally from Thursday. These were in my 20s. So good. From Thursday to Sunday, we would all do, I had a roommate. She was a paralegal. I was just in the military, and I was also in college, but we would literally go out from Thursday night until Sunday. And each time I would just drive, and they'd be like, why would you drive? Like, we can all ride together. And I was like, no, it's fine. It's because if something happened in the moment, I'm a Sagittarius, I'm a free spirit, I'm very spontaneous. If something happened in the moment, I wanted to be able to say, you guys can go, I'm going to stay. Or, like, I don't want to go. Like, it could be where I'm ready to go. And I'm like, yeah, we're having fun, but I've had enough, and I just kind of want to go back. And I'm not impeding on anyone else. I'm not messing with them having fun, because my whole thing is I want everybody to do what makes them feel their best. And I don't want me to stop them from living their best life. So when your partner sees you have the ability to do that, it's so attractive, and it has nothing to do with looks. I know that so many times when you're in PMDD, your self-esteem takes a big hit because you feel like you don't look the same. You feel like you don't have the same personality. You don't feel as attractive. You feel maybe your partner notices that you're not as attractive, and all these intrusive thoughts that you have about your self-image. It takes a big hit. But when you are in the moment and living your best life and feeling good and doing whatever you enjoy, I don't care if it's knitting. I'm not saying it has to be something where you're going out. It could be playing video games. It could just be you in the zone of just having fun, smiling, being open. Your partner is going to be magnetized towards that. So that's what I'm talking about when it comes to the affection. When your partner gets that affection and sees you and it feels like it's a safe place to get that affection from you, then they're going to be more supportive with you when you're in PMDD. I remember when me and my partner were in a really good place and I was feeling horrible because of PMDD, and he just kept saying, what can I do? What can I get you? Like, let me know. I'll do anything. Like, he was willing to do anything I said because I was still filling his cup and giving him the love and affection and attention that he needed. Okay. When I say this is not a want, this is a need. And the reason why I say it's a need, because I think what us PMDD partners forget sometimes is if your partner wants affection, you're the only person that they can get it from. You are the only person that can give your partner affection, attention, all of these things, because you're the only one that's in an intimate relationship with them, unless you're in an open relationship. And I don't have advice on that. But what I'm saying is, if they have one source, imagine it like water, and they're thirsty and they have one way to get it, and it's through you. If you shut your faucet off because you're in PMDD while you go do your thing, they're thirsty. It's like the phrase, like, oh, you're acting thirsty. Yeah, because they are, because they can only get it from you. And the expectation is that they can only get it from you, because let them go outside of the relationship and they're the bad person. Let them go seek that attention and affection and adoration from someone else, and then they're horrible. They're the scum of the earth. And I'm going to tell you right now, be careful who you're listening to when it comes to your PMDD partner. I just went through a couple sessions with a client of mine that is having to unpack all of these comments and these negative things that they were intaking about their partner, because they were going through it with their partner and they decided to tell their friends and family, tell online and all these things. And everybody was like, break up with them. You shouldn't be with them. You should just leave. Oh my gosh, they're the scum of the earth. Like, how dare they? All these things. And that gets ingrained in your brain. And then all of a sudden, the next time you go to interact with them, you're interacting with them with all of that on your mind. You're interacting with all of those comments. I don't need to be with you. I'm blah, blah, blah. And they're dealing with that. And it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, because if you treat them as if they don't deserve to be with you, all these things, and then they leave you, you're going to be the only one that's hurt. Because I guarantee you there's so many other people in your life that would be happy if you left your partner. And I'm not saying that in a way that makes them a bad person, but it is a protective mechanism. People control what they can control. So if you're not in a relationship and they're worried about you getting hurt in a relationship, the best way to mitigate that is to tell you don't be in a relationship, because it's safer. If you're not in a relationship, you can't get hurt from being in a relationship. Here's the problem. You're in love with them. You love them. You care about them. You like them. Whatever emotion is attached to that, it's you. You're the one that met them. You're the one that chose to be with them, not these other people. These other people can take them or leave them. And again, not saying that they're a bad person, not saying that they don't have your best interest, not saying that they have ulterior motives, but their job is to keep you safe. And if they want to keep you safe, the easiest way to do that is to tell you to just detach yourself from the relationship. Then you don't have to come to them and tell them that you're hurt from the relationship. Tell you to run, tell you to give up, tell you it's other fish in the sea, tell you if they loved you, they would do this, and put all these stipulations on it. Or I think they should react like this, and blah, blah, blah. They don't love your partner. You love your partner. And when this client came to me, they were trying to reframe their mind because they had gone from being completely committed to their partner, completely in love, all of the things. And they got to a point where they were starting to believe the lies that everyone was telling them. Maybe I shouldn't be with this partner. Maybe they're not the right one for me. Maybe they are a narcissist. Maybe they are stonewalling me. Maybe they're toxic. Maybe they're causing me trauma. I mean, every mental health tactic in the book was being told to them to tell them to break up with their partner. Not only that, break up with the partner and be happy about it. Have a party. Celebrate being alone. And you can follow that trap for a while, but you know when it stops? When you get to a moment where you realize you like the person, you love the person, you do want to be with the person, you don't want to be alone, and therefore all of that advice is null and void, right? Like, I work with clients on rebuilding the foundation of their PMDD relationship. My goal when you're working with me privately as a client and listening on this podcast is for you to be with your PMDD partner, point blank and period. Unless you tell me it's an abusive relationship and they're doing things that are unethical and, against your morals, then my goal is not for you to leave them because things are hard. Relationships with PMDD are hard sometimes. And I preface that because there's really, really good times. Really, really good times with your PMDD partner. And I know people are always talking about when relationships are hard, but they're also amazing and they're also irreplaceable. And you cannot tell me that when you think back to moments with your PMDD partner that you're not just completely enthralled with how good it feels to feel close to them, to have fun with them, to kiss them and touch them and to be intimate with them and just feel like you're on the same page and know that when you get off of work, you have someone to call, you have someone to hang out with, you can plan your weekends with, plan your evenings with, and you have this other person that you just enjoy being around. Like, that's irreplaceable. And a lot of the times with this client that I was working with, they were saying all of these things about breaking up with their partner, and then they were going home to their own partner. So they had a person to go to, and they were telling them to leave that person, but they weren't lonely. They weren't by themselves. They weren't living this best single life. And a lot of the single people that are, they're not really happy. And they make it seem like the grass is so much greener on the other side. Just dump your partner. I did it a year ago and now my life is amazing. But what if that was the person for you? What if you were supposed to be with that? Like, I never understand the follow through with that. Like, but what if that's the person I was supposed to be with? But what if that person that I was supposed to be with go and be with someone else and I have to see it? Like, how heart-wrenching is that going to be for me to watch my PMDD partner love someone else because I decided to not use the tools and to not work on it? I decided to just say, it's hard, I'm going to leave because I feel like my life could possibly be better without my partner. Not guaranteed. There's no guarantee that if you leave your PMDD partner, your symptoms are going to go away. You're magically going to be, just flying high and just living a good life. You know why? Because you want to be in a relationship. And you know why? Because you deserve to be in a relationship. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's actually a lot right with that. Being connected, that is a human trait. That is a human need. That's what we were made to do. We were made to be connected to others. We were made to have a partner. So although the option to go off and do your own thing and be single can be tempting when you're in PMDD, at the end of the day, you will remember why you chose to be with your PMDD partner, and you most likely will regret it. And then you're going to try to fix it. Or you could try to have a relationship with someone else, but I guarantee you, whoever you choose to be with, being that you have PMDD, it's not going to be easy. It's going to take work, but it's going to be so worth it. But don't think that you can trade partners and then you have no symptoms, you have no triggers, there's nothing. Like, it's just great. Like, it's not always that it's the wrong person. It's like, oh, if only I had a different partner when I was in PMDD, it would be so much better. No, how about you learn how to treat your current partner so that your current partner treats you the way that you really want to be treated, right? It's kind of like, I have a dirty car. I actually do have a dirty truck right now. I just drove from Maryland to California, and I'm like staring out the window, looking at my truck, and it needs to be washed, like a deep wash. You know, those deep washes where you have bugs that have like got on the window and all over the car. Like, it's not something where you can go through those drive-through car washes and just get it all out. So I've gone through the drive-through car washes. It just hasn't worked. But my example is, it's not like you go to the car wash, or I'm sorry, it's not that you see that your car is dirty, and instead of driving to the car wash, you drive to the car dealership and you tell the car dealer, I want a new car because my car is dirty. That's what it sounds like when you say that you want to break up with your partner because things are hard. It's hard to wash your car. If you get a new car, it's going to get dirty. You're going to have to wash it. Are you going to continuously go to the dealership, pay the price, right? Because every time you break up, you get back with someone, you're paying a price, you're taking a risk, you're doing all the things. It's not realistic to think that you can continue your life like that, with thinking that you can just go from one partner to the other and you're just waiting to find the one. You're waiting to find the one that it's going to work with your PMDD, because even the clients that I work with who have gotten to a really good place, that doesn't mean that they're still not using the tools that I give them. Rinse and repeat. I told you before, everything that I'm telling you, you can use them throughout the course of your relationship, not just one time. It's always going to work. So if I get them to a point where they're on the same page in their best case scenario, they're still going to have to use my tools and take my PMDD Trauma Transformational Tools in order to maintain that amazingness, in order to maintain it. Like, it's one thing to get it, but you have to continuously do the things. And again, it sounds like work, but it's really not. Because what am I telling you? Pay attention to your partner. Give them affection. You actually will get them to pay attention to you by you paying attention to them. You actually will get them to give you affection by you giving affection to them. So this is not like a one-sided thing where I'm telling you, pour into your partner and then you get the short end of the stick. No. You get an opportunity to be on the receiving end, specifically when you need it most, when you're in PMDD. And the last one is, so we have attention, affection, adoration. I said this to my partner early on in our journey. I said, I adore you. And he was so taken aback by that. And we still say it to this day about each other, because there's so much power in that word. It takes away all of the flaws that you feel like are over you and makes you seem not perfect, but perfect for the person. So when I say I adore you, it's like the equivalent of the heart eye emoji. Like, I'm looking at you. I'm not looking at your flaws. I'm not looking at everything you're doing wrong. I'm not looking at everything you could be doing right. I'm looking at you like, I adore you. I'm putting you up there. Like, I'm putting you on this pedestal and I am adoring you. Like, I think you are amazing. I think you are amazing inside and out. And then you can describe it, all of the things, whatever their love language is. When you say that I adore you, you can express it in that way. So being that me and my PMDD partner in a long distance relationship, when I tell him I adore him, I, say specific things that I adore about him. I adore how passionate you are. I adore how you're all in, how you're so committed, how you're so loyal, how you love family. I adore that you're so hardworking, the effort that you put in, everything that you do for me. I'm so grateful. And I adore that about you. And I adore that a lot of the things that you do for me, I don't have to ask. You think about me throughout the day and you just meet the needs that I don't even know that I have. I adore you. And when I tell him that, everything just flows. Everything just flows. I don't have to ask for his support when I'm in PMDD. If I'm showing him that kind of attention, affection, and adoration, I don't have to show him anything else. He will show me the utmost support because he will feel so supported, so loved, so adored, so amazing that he'll be doing things I don't even know that I need. Like I remember one time I was complaining about my neck and my back aching and all the times because of PMDD. And he had something from Amazon. It was like this massager that you can like strap on your back or strap on your shoulders just for my PMDD symptoms. Giving me gifts around my PMDD symptoms just because he felt that affection, attention, and adoration. And it doesn't always have to be gifts. If it's like, even if it's space, even if you're like, I need a moment. If you've given your partner that attention, affection, and adoration, and you ask them for a moment, they'll give it to you. They will give it to you. And the reason why they're going to give it to you is because their cup is already full. They're not like begging for something. They're not like empty. And then you're saying, I need more space. And they're like, man, I barely got anything. Like, I'm just trying to get something out of you. Like, no, they'll be more than happy. Okay, babe, I understand that you need some time. You know, I love you. I care about you. Let me know if you need anything. How amazing would that sound for you? If that was the response, instead of leave me alone, I don't feel like being bothered, or you're being too needy, or you're being too clingy, or I just need a moment. I just need a moment. I don't have time for this right now. I got all of these symptoms going on, blah, blah, blah. That feels horrible. It feels horrible to hear from someone that you love that they just want you to go away. But to hear, babe, I love you. I'm having a hard time right now. I'm just going to need to rest. Be specific. You know, I'm going to take a bath. I'm going to do this and I just want to relax. Can you just give me some time to do that? And then always give a time where you're going to reconnect later on. Like, can we do something tomorrow and do this and blah, blah, blah. And I guarantee you, they'll be like, of course. Of course. And then they're going to be able to go off and do whatever they want to do in their day because they know that they're loved. A lot of times, I've talked to clients where they don't want to go out and hang out with their friends and blah, blah, because their love tank is empty. It doesn't feel good. Even hanging out with your friends, it doesn't feel good if your cup is empty. Like, it actually feels kind of horrible because, you could go out with your friends and they could be talking about their partner and like, oh yeah, my girl or my guy or my you know, my partner, my wife, whatever it is, they're doing this and this. They start talking about their partner and you don't have anything to say because your partner just basically told you to just go somewhere. Like, you're not in that loving place. It's almost like an endearing thing to be able to go out with your friends and talk highly of your partner. Yeah, my partner did this and my partner did that, and just be in that place of feeling comfortable. You know, like, even though they're not there, you're expressing that you all are in such a good place versus you going out while you're feeling neglected from your partner and they start talking about that and they're like, hey, so how are you and so doing? We all right. You know what I mean? Or you could lie. I mean, you can lie, but that doesn't feel good. That doesn't feel good either, because if your friends really know you, they're going to know that you're lying. So then there's that. So what I'm telling you is to give your partner these 3 things, and I guarantee you they will be the PMDD supportive partner that you desire and deserve. And remember, if you need customized help, apply, book a session with me, and we can get specific scenarios handled so where you're not having to second guess, like, oh, should I say it like this? Should I do it like this? Like, what specifically can I do? Because when I'm saying attention, affection, and adoration, this is very specific to your partner. So I customize it with my private clients by getting to know them. I get to know one partner or even both of them, and then I give them the tools on how to act on it and how to speak on it in their relationship. And it takes less than a month before everything is turned around, because, you know, you have the cycle and the good days and the bad days. And so when we work together, whether we're working together in the good days or the bad days, a solution is gained. And then you're able to literally practice it out in your relationship. So if that's something that you're interested in, go to my website, www.inlovewithpmdd.com. Or you can always DM me on Instagram and let me know that you want to book a session with me. I will check my schedule. This is the beginning of the month of June. So once my slots filled up, I won't be able to take any more. But I look forward to continuing to help you, to give you these tools so that you can have the relationship that I know that you want. I know that you want it because you listen to me every week. And if you wanted to be single, you would find another podcast. Okay? So I love you. I will talk to you later, and you got this. I hope these PMDD Trauma Transformational Tools help you and your PMDD partner. If you found this podcast helpful, please comment and leave me a 5-star review to help other PMDD partners find our show with these tools and support. This is how you can help support the show and other PMDD partners. For everything that as PMDD partners go through, we should not have to do this alone. So until next time, remember that we can have the relationship that we desire and deserve while we have PMDD. We got this.